So if you would like some good fantasy baseball advice, just start any starting pitcher against the Mariners offense. You will for sure get a lot of strikeouts. Now, how did I feel about this game where they did lose to the Guardians? You will find out right after this. SeatGeek is a mobile ticketing app for sporting events, concerts, and other events. They make the buying experience easier by the app ranking each ticket from 0 to 10 to see if you are getting a good deal, and you can see exactly where you are sitting. I regularly use that app, and I have had nothing but a fantastic experience with SeatGeek. Use my promo code ROOFTOPSPORTS to get $20 off of your first purchase. Link to the code, app, and website will be in the description, so take advantage, and thank you. So I'm just going to get right to it. So the Seattle Mariners just lost to the Cleveland Guardians 8-0, and this game, boy, when I took the notes, because I wasn't able to watch the game because hashtag don't quit your day job, but man, just watching the highlights was just very difficult to watch, and I applaud myself for even having the courage to even watch the highlights on a very lost game. So it started with George Kirby hitting a batter pretty much almost immediately. And then Ty France had a really bad error that caused another run, as if the Guardians scored another run. And how those runs happened was Ramirez doubled, which led to Quan scoring. And then Josh Naylor, I believe it's Naylor, he grounded out to first. And then that's where Ty France had a little bobbling problem. And that led to another run. And then there was another infield single, which led to Ramirez scoring. So already 3-0, and defense was just really bad. And knowing what the offense has been, really hard to see something where when it's a 3-0 game, you think it's pretty much over, unfortunately. And I know I'm sounding very negative, but when the Mariners are losing like the way they are, it's really hard to keep your spirits up. And I do give shout-outs to Couch GM for saying that he's not worried at all, that it was just a bad game, bad series, and you're going to get some of those. And more things, it just gets worse, where we saw a bad throw by Sebi Savala that arguably caused another run, because in the second inning we had Jimenez doubling, which led to another score, and then Josh Naylor hitting a sacrifice fly, which led Quan to scoring. And that sacrifice fly, I think, could have been prevented, but the throwing from the left fielder, and I'm going to see who that left fielder was for the Mariners. It was Mitch. No, not Mitch. It was Dylan Moore who had a really terrible throw, and he's not really known for his arm at all, and he's not necessarily known for his defense. He's just known for his grinding hits, really. So that led to the sacrifice fly, and then that was all what made it 5-0. And to before I even get to even more scoring, what I saw from the Mariners, it was just a lot of bad swing and misses. You saw a lot of check swings, and Mariners were just striking out left and right, and you didn't really see anything happening. I mean, in the first inning, the Mariners left 2 men on, so maybe if the Mariners scored and did their jobs, maybe this game could have turned out a little bit differently. And of course, Mariners are having a hard time with the off-speed pitches because they've been striking out quite a bit. And I saw a lot of those curveballs and changeups where Mariners just could not get the barrel on the ball. And that's exactly what Cleveland did, was getting that barrel on the ball. And then fourth inning, which there was a big scare where you saw J.P. Crawford and Polanco colliding in the fourth inning, which led to 2 more runs eventually for the Guardians to make it 7-0 or to make it 8-0. So it was really the first 4 innings, which was full of defensive disasters. And thankfully, J.P. Crawford and Polanco were okay. It looked like that Crawford was down, but I would like to see that was just all complete miscommunication, and that is something that really has to be improved going through the course of the season. And man, like it was just so bad. Like the only positive thing throughout this entire game was Josh Rojas pitched a scoreless inning. Yes, Josh Rojas actually pitched. But man, what an awful game it really was. And I'm just glad that nobody else really got hurt. But now George Kirby, let's take a look at his stat line because it was just absolutely awful. He pitched 3.2 innings, gave up 10 hits, 8 earned runs, and only struck out 2, 72 pitches in 3 innings, which that gave every reason of him to be out of there. And the crazy thing was Kirby earned all those runs, and the bullpen, at least they didn't give up anything. I mean, but it's not difficult to do when you basically have the Guardians pretty much hitting the brakes when you're up 8-0, knowing that the Mariners offense literally has nothing, and they've had nothing throughout this entire series. Like, they are one of the bottoms in offense in everything, including that they have struck out more, and they have struck out a lot more than last season. That was with Eugenio Suarez and Teoscar Hernandez on the team. And then let's look at Cleveland's pitching line. Logan Allen, he pitched absolutely fantastic. He did walk 3, but he struck out 6, only 4 hits, and gave up absolutely no runs. And now going into the next series, Milwaukee, I mean, I don't know what to expect out of them. Like, I would hope that, because the Milwaukee Brewers, they are not known to be a contender, as it seems. And I'm just going to check the rosters to make sure I know exactly what I'm talking about. But right now, the Brewers, I lied. Brewers are 4-1, considering that they did lose their manager, Craig Counsell, to the Cubs. So I don't really know what to expect, but I really do expect a tough road trip. I mean, especially when a team is starting 4-1, like, someone's got to break that confidence, but I don't know. And then we're going to have, but at least the good news is Logan Gilbert is going to pitch for the Mariners, which I'll be covering that game. It's going to be Logan Gilbert versus Freddie Peralta. He is 1-0 with a 1.50 ERA. Also has 8 strikeouts, so I don't know if Mariners are... I expect that to be a really tough game. And the top performers so far, we've got Christian Yelich has 2 home runs with a 368 average, so I, of course, expect this to be a challenge. And one thing I can say about this is, I know it's just been 7 games, but the thing is, you don't want to get off to a bad start. You don't want to trend like this, because we've never really seen it in the history of Mariners baseball where they get off to a bad start and then they magically come back and do a lot better. Like, I can't depend on the fact that it's only been 7 games. Like, Mariners have got to fix this quick, or else things get ugly really fast. Confidence goes down. Manager Scott Service may lose the team. I mean, it doesn't help when Eugenio Suarez isn't here anymore to really keep those good vibes only. And I still think it was a terrible move to get rid of Eugenio Suarez. Like, the only reason why the move may have made sense was if the Mariners had money in place to spend on free agents, but the only free agents the Mariners really got was Mitch Garver and Ryan Stanek. And then going into the weekend, like, Mariners are going to have their bottom end of their starters. Logan Gilbert, we got Bryce Miller, who has been iffy, and also Emerson Hancock. So it's going to be, I expect this to be a tough series, and I don't really want to depend on this whole, it can't get any worse than this, because right now, with the way the Mariners are swinging that bat, they're swinging and missing. They are not even being patient. Like, they're just chasing like no other. So I really hope the Mariners do make those adjustments going into the weekend, or else you could have an ugly start where if the Mariners take 1 of 2, that's going to make them 4-6. I mean, it's not great, but it's also not bad. But you also want to get above 500 to get that confidence going. So I really hope that the Mariners figure this out, because you don't want to go into a series against the Blue Jays where you lose to the Brewers, who are now 4-1. So that's my quick thoughts on it. I didn't really have much to say, with the exception that, wow, it was an awful series. Offense was terrible throughout, with the exception of the first game. And I really hope the Mariners turn it around. But that's going to be it. And if you did like this video, and if you enjoy these post-game shows, which I'm going to strive to do every single game throughout this entire season, please hit the like button, subscribe, and hit that notification. And thanks for watching. Now, if you want to get a better idea of how this entire series went, here's the last 2 videos of the last 2 games between the Mariners and the Guardians. So take a look at that. Or if you want to get into some nostalgia, here's a video of this as well to make you feel better. And thanks for watching.